Ho 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 and Merry Christmas all the way. Get ready to hit the rock bottom on Christmas Day and get ready to jingle your bells. It's the Before the Free Count Christmas special. Roll the thing.
Are you ready?
Welcome to the Before the Free Count podcast. In the red corner, it's Charlie Quick, and in the blue corner, it's Callum Hunt. And so, let the show begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, all I have to say is two words. It's Christmas! And we are joined here, well, for you guys, if you're listening on the day it came out, live on Christmas Day. And I am joined yet again by my co-host, Mr. Callum Jamie Hunt. Mr. Callum, how are we doing? Merry Christmas.
Deck the halls of bells of jolly. I've just got a brand new Rolex. No, I haven't. I
Ba
haven't,
la la la
Charlie.
la 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 la.
That's a dream of mine, and I have not. Well, actually, maybe it's not even a dream. I am not
For all
too.
you know.
I don't really care about watches, if I'm honest,
Technically,
Charlie.
you could be owning that Rolex right now when
No,
people are
no,
listening to this.
no way, no way.
Not been that good
Um,
this year, then.
well, Rolexes, Jesus, they're very expensive.
Very true.
There's more. They're about the price of a car,
I know. I
So,
mean, I only have three.
Charlie, everyone doesn't know. It's come from a privileged background. He has three
Yes.
Rolexes, two Porsches.
Anyway, we are joking here, but of course, it is Christmas, and this is your Before the Free Count Christmas special. Merry Christmas, Callum. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm actually doing um okay. I'm a little bit ill, and it always tends to be around Christmas. I think you work hard all throughout the year, and then you stop for a second, and all of a sudden
We
things
should,
catch up with you.
I think we should emphasize with this. Oh, sorry, start with just the quick thing of people going, "Why are they doing a Christmas special? They haven't done an episode for like a month and a half." Well, here's why, guys. I broke my foot, and then Callum got a cold. So we couldn't
Wow.
really do an episode because, if you can't, set up your laptop or, sound good on the mic, can't really do a podcast, can you?
Yeah, Charlie attempted to climb Mount Everest, and
Oh,
at base
shut
camp
up.
he fell over and broke his foot.
Yeah,
Therefore, had
I
to
wish that
return
was the
home.
true story. I really wish that was the true story. However, we are back and we did really want to do a Christmas episode for you. We was hoping to put this out a bit earlier, but things happened. So, what we thought is our gift to you, the fans, the viewers, the listeners this year, would be an episode to listen to on Christmas Day or Boxing Day or during the festive period. But this is our gift from you because it's our first year, it's our first ever festive episode. It's nearly a year, well, it'll be a year in February, since we started this podcast, which is insane. And we know we've not kept up to week, but we've tried to do the best we can. And we thought, the people that keep on coming back, they deserve something special, don't you think, for Christmas?
I do, and also what I would say is, in terms of wrestling, the next week or so looks very bright, very very bright indeed. I mean, on the 28th of December we have World's End AEW, and we're featuring, Adam Cole versus MJF Part Two, I believe, and that should be fantastic. And not only that, we also have Raw and SmackDown starting on Netflix in the UK.
Exactly.
Very excited about that. I mean, come on, like the day one Raw looks like a pay per view
Oh
of the
yeah,
amount of
100%.
matches.
100%. Well, let's
Um,
start off with that. I mean, I usually stay quite a lot on this show. That you kind of have certain peaks in different, things. Like in football, the big peak is, around this time, February-ish. Uh, in the NFL, that's the end of April. And you have all them different timings. For wrestling, it kind of kicks off all again in January. Goes all the way through till about July with SummerSlam. However, this year, this is usually our down period. I have to say, with the Netflix move and everything, I've kind of felt like we've already started the pre-Royal Rumble season already because, my God, there is so much rumor, speculation, and all this about what could happen within the first few weeks with them going on to Netflix, and the names that I've heard referenced here, there, and everywhere is just insane. I mean, some of the stories I've heard that could be happening. I mean, apparently we could be getting another belt just for the bloodline. I've heard that so many people are going to appear on that first episode of Raw. Um, it's ridiculous. So is it just me, Callum? Do you feel like the wrestling season has started a bit earlier this year and we're actually having a really good off period this year?
Yeah, I would say, and yeah, and I actually think, Charlie, that potentially when it comes to Monday Night Raw, that first one, I think we may see the likes of The Rock. I think we might see Stone Cold. I think we might see
100%.
all the big names pop
Yeah.
out that
Well, we
that
know that
episode.
Cena's coming back.
Yeah,
We know that
imagine that:
Cena's coming back,
Cena,
which is
Stone Cold,
massive.
The
Because
Rock.
it's weird to think that uh I never remember the guy's name. Everyone will know who I'm talking about. He does a lot of interviews with the big names in wrestling. Has his own little podcast. A very well known guy. Uh, he keeps on putting out every day. In the last week or so, like a countdown, but it's not a countdown to Christmas. It's like how many days it is until the first Raw. But he keeps on putting. So today, for us, when we're recording this, is it's 15 days, and John Cena turns back full time in wrestling. And you're like, oh my god, that's insane to think. 15 days, we're gonna have a whole year of John Cena, but it's the last one. You know what I mean? That's insane to even think. And there's only one thing, one part of this whole thing. Something like that would be the main thing for a whole entire show. That's not the main thing.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I completely agree with you.
Now, one thing I would like to touch on really quickly before we go into our festive theming is as most people know by now, Wrestling Illustrated and Sports Wrestle Talk and all that, they released their Wrestler of the Year uh top five, and of course they're number one. This year, I uh I really agreed with who they went with this year. Callum, did you see this?
I actually didn't. I probably saw it somewhere actually, but I've forgotten who it is. So do enlighten me.
So this year they had a very, very good list, really, really good. I will just quickly pull it up on my phone because I don't want to get it wrong. I know majority of the names off by heart. Um, so again, this is male. They do one for female. I haven't seen that one yet, and I do apologize. I can try and find it, but the male wrestler of the year. Now you had the obvious ones in there. So you had Roman Reigns. You had your Cozy Road. No, you had your Cody Rhodes. You had I've got the list right here. You had John Moxley was in there. Gunther was in there. CM Punk. Uh, Gunther, Will Ospreay, Brian Danielson, and also Swerve Strickland. But none of them won. None of them won. They were the ones that were the runners up. Okay. So do you want to know who the wrestler of the year is? Um, according to Sports Skeeds, this year, and I
Yeah,
100%
sure.
agree with them. It's Drew McIntyre, and I 100% agree with them. And the reason why is because I genuinely think the feud between CM Punk and Drew this year has been the best feud they've had going the whole year, minus Mania. If you take Mania away, granted, January all the way up to May, 100% it was Roman, Rock, Seth, and Cody. 100%. And even on the night, I will still agree that that was the best feud. However,
However,
from then onwards, you cannot deny that that has been the best feud slash storyline you have seen, I'd say, in nearly 2 years in wrestling.
hmm. Well, it was very good. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Do you
You
know
sound
who
like you
my
don't
pick?
agree. Who would you put in that space then?
I'm going to go with an indie choice. It's simply because I've been really following it a lot this year and been to a lot of the events. And if I'm honest, my pick for wrestler of the year
It's
would be
Michael
actually
Oku.
Michael Oku. Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be Michael Oku.
In terms of the
because
indie scene, that guy wins hand down.
he's put in such a hard graft this year. Countless 5-star matches, incredible promos, incredible rivalries with lots of Will Ospreay and Luke Jacobs. For me, he's just had an incredible year, and
A
it's just like been so
100%
exciting.
agree with you
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, and I don't know. I guess Charlie, and you two, just seeing it up close and just seeing him fight for and put his body really on the line every single match. It's just for me, it is Michael Oku, but Drew McIntyre, I don't disagree with that.
No?
I don't think it's terribly wrong either.
I'll tell you one thing that I will throw out there. If we're going to have Rising Star of the Year, you can't not give it to anyone but Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have
Will
to. I
Ospreay's
mean,
had a
where he
good
was
year.
last year to where he is now. Oh my God. The
He's
man's
had go
insane.
on.
No. I was waiting for you to say something, actually.
I think he's had a fantastic year. Um, I can't disagree with you there, Charlie.
No. In terms of female star of the year, who would you put up there this year?
Female star of the year. Think female star of the year. You know what? I'd be inclined to say it was Tony Storm.
I think
Maybe.
she's close, but to me, I think I'd have to give it to Liv Morgan.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a
Yeah,
bad shout either. That's not a bad shout either,
yeah.
Charlie. And why is Liv Morgan your pick?
Purely because I think that where she was a year ago to where she is now, and especially if you compare it to where she was 3 years ago, where she was, I don't think she had the SmackDown champion at the time. But I know at Clash at the Castle, whatever time that was around about September, and that was about 3 years ago, nearly 4 years ago now. Um, she was SmackDown Women's Champion, and then she lost the belt, and it weren't at SmackDown, it weren't at Clash at the Castle. Sorry, it was at another event. She lost the title. I think it was uh Survivor Series. She lost it, but she went through that. She had the Money in the Bank that year. She won it, cashed in that night. And then after when she lost the belt, it was almost like you didn't think there was going to be a lot to come. But this year, from the second she went for Rhea all the way up to now and starting their own version of the Judgment Day and all of that, it's just been brilliant.
It has. I think she's been the standout of the year. Do you know what? Maybe, Charlie, I'll go back on my statement here. Liv Morgan may be wrestler of the year in general, both men
Ooh,
and women.
I
Just
don't know.
not really. And I'm not going to say mainly because of her things in the ring, but more because of how good she has been on the mic and how entertaining she's been and everything like that.
Hey, here's one thing that is pretty shocking that's just come into my head. How mad is it that we're having this conversation about male wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, all of that stuff, up and coming star and all of that stuff, and uh, nor Cody or Roman is being mentioned in any of these conversations. How mad is that? If you would have said that to me last year, I would not have believed you for hell. You could have bet £1,000, and someone could have come to me and said, I bet £1,000 that next year when you talk about wrestler of the year, you do like your chat about it. You won't even consider Roman and you won't even think about Cody. I'd go, nah, no way. There's got to be, because like the way it's leading up to, and then after that, he's clearly going to have a run of wind, and it's going to be. But it's not even been a discussion. I mean, partly the fact that one, Roman hasn't been there this year. Let's just be honest. Let's just be frank about this. People have been going, yeah, but Roman wasn't really there in the last few years. No, Roman was there in presence when he needed to be. Roman hasn't been there this year because he hasn't needed to be for any reason whatsoever, apart from showing up. I think he's done like, apart from obviously the big four, which was, no, he didn't even do Elimination Chamber. So, and he didn't fight at Royal Rumble. He was in a box. So it was literally, am I right in thinking that? He didn't have a main event at Royal Rumble? Because I know we were there and we watched it, and I'm pretty sure the last fight was the men's Royal Rumble and Cody won it. I'm pretty sure in that, and he was in the box. So he wasn't at that. He didn't do Elimination Chamber. WrestleMania, of course. And then we didn't have him Backlash, Money in the Bank. He turned up at SummerSlam to take down Solo. And then he was at Survivor Series. Am I missing another pay-per-view this year?
I'm not sure.
No. But he's kind of only just come back in the last month or so. But he hasn't headlined any pay-per-views. Apart from he's headlined 2. That's insane to think. Oh, I know we had Clash at the Castle. Of course. We had Clash at the Castle in Scotland. And we had Crown Jewel and Night of Champions. The King of the Ring. Of course we had that as well. He was at none of them. Or was he? Was he at one of them? Now I'm thinking.
It's been a quiet year.
It's been a quiet year. It's been a very quiet year for the Bloodline, which is a really weird thing to say considering what has happened in that story. Like, it's been quiet, but it's not like gone under the radar. It's very strange if you think about it.
It has been. It has been.
Yeah,
Definitely.
100%.
So what are you most looking forward to
Next
this
year.
year?
Well, next year.
Oh.
It's a week today, isn't it, technically? To the listeners.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, of course, we can't start this conversation without even speaking about Mania. I mean, I think most people know by now. Me and Callum are going next year, or this year, technically. Well, on a week and 3 months, we'll be there. And literally, we will. A week and 3 months, we will actually be there. That's quite scary. Um, that's been a dream of mine for quite a long while. So to be there, I think that will be brilliant. I think the Royal Rumble is going to be really interesting this year because you've got a lot of people. I could name 5 people that it would make sense for them to win the men's Royal Rumble, and not one person would go, "Nah, that don't make sense." And
Do
do
you
you
know?
want to hear the 5
Well,
quickly?
Charlie, just out of curiosity, do you know who the booking favourite is in the bet sites to win the Royal Rumble?
I
Just
believe I do,
go
and
on
he's
then.
in
Who
my
do you think it is?
list. So my top 5, and I don't think anyone would actually argue with any of these people actually winning the Royal Rumble. Okay,
I feel like I know 2 of them. Go on.
so Seth Rollins wouldn't surprise me
Okay.
at all. CM Punk would not
Yeah.
surprise me at all. Would not surprise me in the slightest if he won. Drew McIntyre,
Okay.
absolutely no surprise at all. Roman Reigns, because he hasn't got a belt. And if he wants a fight, technically they're 6 now I think about it. Because if Roman's in there, then technically The Rock's in there as well. And of course, the bookie's favourite, Cena, which I think is going to be the obvious choice. I mean, if I had to narrow it down to 3, I think it's either Punk, Drew, or Cena. To be honest. But yeah, all of them, think about it, all of them that I've just said, there is no way you could not argue with them winning it. I mean, technically, I would throw Cody in there, but I just don't see him losing the belt before the Rumble. Before Mania, 100%. But before the Rumble, just wouldn't make sense.
He might lose it at the Rumble, man.
Yeah, or they do a shocker and he loses it on the first night of Raw. But I don't think he's even got a fight.
What about? I mean, when I think about it, do you think there's going to be? Would you think Netflix are going to allow watch parties across the UK for the Rumble this year? Next year?
I know there's talk in it. And I know that's something that we're both very passionate about.
I've signed the petition.
Yeah, so have I. So for people that don't know, so because the legal rights of streaming and live. I don't know how it works. Basically, because the copyright or live streaming rights have now gone over to Netflix, you can now no longer buy just the package to be viewed by a certain amount of people. Like if you brought it on, like, HBO box office or Sky box office or whatever, you do not have the right to then do a viewing party because you've paid for the package to show it. It's part of a Netflix package. And of course, we've got this whole thing that's been going on for the last year and a half of you can't have multiple people using the same Netflix account. And because of that and their legal rights on the live streaming and all this, it's all like kind of the same with illegal football streaming and all that kind of stuff. You have to either have the package or pay for the box office thing. Netflix, it's almost impossible to do watch parties now going forward because they'd have to give a second license for people to be able to buy the one-off live stream and not have access to anything else on Netflix. Now, there's two ways they could get around this. One, they do it literally how I said, and you can just pay for it, and they sell it alternatively through, your HBO box office, your Showtime Entertainment, your Sky box office package, BT, Now TV, all that crap. Or they give you a chance to set up a public licensed Netflix account, meaning that they have to pay a bit more, but the account can only be used for places like, pubs, clubs, places like that, for them to be able to stream just the individual events. And that's all they'd
Yeah.
have access to on the accounts. Now, they're the two things that I've heard, but I don't know how it's going to work. However, at these crossroads at the moment where they are, neither of these things have been confirmed nor denied by Netflix. But the most annoying thing about this is that if they did this in America, doesn't necessarily mean they could do this in England, France, Germany, Spain, nowhere like that. Whereas before, where yes, you did have the WWE network where you could pay £10 a month and watch it anywhere, they still gave the alternative option to buy the pay-per-view packages on alternative networks and places that I mentioned a minute ago, so that places like that could do the watch parties and streaming shows and all that kind of stuff. Because that option's no longer there, all these massive companies can no longer do these things. So they're kind of waiting for some kind of update on it. I know I've gone quite a bit into this, quite seriously, but it's because it's something me and Callum feel really passionate about. Um, and we know you're listening to this on Christmas Day. We're not trying to make it a downy thing, really. Well, I'm not trying to make it a down thing really quickly, but I just wanted to basically throw this out there really quickly whilst Callum brought it up, actually, because it is something that I think is really important, especially with something like live events and football, sporting events and all that stuff. Because this isn't just going to affect wrestling. This is going to affect a lot of things. I mean, we have quite a lot of American viewers on this podcast. And Christmas Day today, for example, today, two NFL games are on Netflix. You can't buy them anywhere else to watch them in America. So they can't watch them on their HBO Max or their Showtime cable subscription or anything like that. They can't watch it in the UK. They can't watch it on TNT or on Sky. It has to be done through Netflix. So if you don't have a Netflix account, you cannot watch them two games today. But also at the same time that if a bar in New York wanted to open up this afternoon to show the game, they can't. They literally legally cannot do it.
Charlie, I just wanted to, just confirm that. I mean, the thing is, it's like you say, this is more important than just showing it live. What it does, especially for the wrestling community in the UK, where we can't, a lot of people are very not fortunate enough to ever travel across the sea and see these American events. It's
100%.
very important for people to have a sense of community, to come together and watch these,
Absolutely.
and
I think that's the thing we've got to emphasize across is that, like, with football and, rugby and, whatever other sport you want to mention, you have your teams and you have your mates and you go and watch that team with your mates. With wrestling, you don't follow just the one wrestler. It's not like, oh, I'm going to a CM Punk away fight today. It's not like that. It's completely different. It's like you follow the network, you watch what's on that network. Them pay-per-views are like your big match days, okay? So we don't have opportunities to do that on a weekly basis. We do it on a monthly basis. And if you take that away and we're not doing it monthly, we don't have a chance to socialize and get to know each other, just like how, you know, football fans, rugby fans, all that get to do. And that takes away the social side of it. And therefore you're not bringing in people to come and see to get into, bring in new fans to get into it, It takes away that opportunity, which I think is the biggest thing that they're missing out on here.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, Charlie, when it looks from a Netflix perspective, and I'll get into why, but there is literally zero downside to allowing things like this to happen. Because when I get the whole commercial thing, and it's like, oh, you pay one subscription and 200 people get to view the event. Well, that the people running these events aren't saying that they're not willing to pay for this thing. Like they say, we will pay more, we will pay the license
Yeah,
fee, we will pay.
100%.
So, like, what is the problem? They're,
No.
they'll pay the equivalent of what it would. So, if we all have to pay to go to this event, a
You
Netflix
have to pay for a
subscription
ticket to
fee.
go into the event, and the amount that they charge goes towards the amount that they pay towards the streaming rights.
I
So I
mean, from a
don't get
Netflix.
what the problem is.
I mean, what about this, Charlie? I mean, imagine how much this would make sense for them. Anyone that attends the event must have a Netflix subscription, right? So,
Exactly.
imagine that. So, how easy and how, because if that's the case, then they've just gained 200 subscribers. You know what I mean?
They
So,
could literally
it,
make the form of ID for proof of your ticket to go in to be your Netflix account on your phone.
absolutely. It really annoys me because I feel like Netflix at the moment are kind of ghosting the event runners. And to be honest, for the last 4 years, and I'm not like over exaggerating here, this event, the Royal Rumble Watch Party, has been such an important event for me. Like I've loved it so much, and I look
Yeah.
forward to it every single year. And I will be so gutted if it doesn't
And it's
take
the
place
start of
because
our season. Let's be honest. It's
yeah,
like the
yeah.
first match day. For us, it's our first day of the season. It's massive.
And we always have so much fun, and it's just great to see everyone. And I don't know, it's going to be really upsetting if they
But
can't
we
make this
can't do
work.
it this year.
Mm,
You know what? We're going to
yeah,
put a link below in this episode for where you can sign the petition and look into this.
yeah, yeah. And please do. I think a lot of people have signed it, and it's. I would like to get an update. It is Hooked on Wrestling that run the event, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
Mm, yeah, I'd love to get an update on where they're at with that.
100%.
Because I feel like Netflix might be ghosting them at the moment. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think they are in talks with them. They've got some kind of conversation in place. It's getting to a negotiable place, from what I know, where they're happy with the amount they're being charged. Netflix are happy with the streaming side. It's working out all them little nits and gritty areas of like, yeah, but if someone comes in and they haven't got an account, and yeah, but we're only showing it to this many people, and it's like, yeah, but if they don't have it, it's all them stupid little things that are getting in the way at the moment.
I mean, there has been talks. Which, to be honest, I almost don't want this to happen. But there's been talks that WWE or Netflix will run their own watch parties.
But we don't.
Um,
Right, fine. But let the people that are known for hosting them host them, and let WWE or Netflix be the sponsor of them. Just like how they used to do with Gorilla Position.
that's not a bad idea.
You know what I mean? We want this to work. You want to make money. You sponsor the event. You get a third of the profit. You still get money from the streaming service, and the companies can still run. The ticket price will still have to go up, but I fucking guarantee you that if the tickets went from 30 to 50 quid, people would still go.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say I fucking don't care. um, but all you want to see is an announcement from the Hooked on Wrestling guys, like, oh,
I'm
we're happy
hoping
to
New Year's
announce.
Day. I'm hoping New Year's Day.
Yeah, that'll be a nice announcement. Be like, yeah, we're still doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually by now they would have announced tickets and stuff, right?
Yeah, they would have been on sale, but we can't promote that this year because it's not possible, which is really sad. Right, let's move on to these festive themes that we've got. So we've kind of planned a little thing here that we think you guys might enjoy. We're going to go through Christmas Day wrestling style in our houses if we could do it. We're also going to go through some traditions and, some of those great Christmas memories that we all have from long ago. So first off, I thought we'd do this thing that I was going to say Callum's helped come up with. Callum's agreed to it. I think it's a pretty cool idea. What we're going to do is basically a fantasy Christmas Day wrestling style. So, for a start, we've got 4 categories here. So, we've got who would you want to find under the tree? Who would you buy a present for? Then we've got who would you want to cook your Christmas dinner, and which 3 wrestlers would you have over to have Christmas dinner with? Who do you think would come up with the best Christmas game? And of course, what TV do you think? What TV show and which wrestler would you sit down and watch it with? So in terms of that one, it's a classic Christmas special, a classic Christmas film, anything along that you'd watch, and which wrestler do you think would agree with you to watch it and would like it as well? You got all that?
There's some cool sets of questions there, Charlie.
That's what I thought. So let's get started. So, number 1, who would you like to find under the Christmas tree this year?
Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty obvious. Yeah, Liv Morgan. I think for me, I do like the trend that I've been seeing recently is that all the people that wake up on Christmas Day and Santa's not left me a Rhea Ripley. I thought that was brilliant, by the way. I came up with that. Who would I like to find under the Christmas tree this year? I'd like to find probably Rhea Ripley. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. And then if you could buy a Christmas present for a particular wrestler, who would you buy it for? And what would you get them?
Um, I don't know. I'll probably get like buy something for CM Punk, and I'll probably get him like a freaking
New set of duct
bracelet or
tape for his
something.
hands.
Yeah, like bracelet or something. I don't know, because I feel
Yeah.
like he looks like a super nice guy. I feel like if you
Yeah.
get him something, he'll be very thankful for it. So
See,
why
my
not?
brain automatically thought, I'm gonna get the Miz a pair of balls.
That's quite good. I mean,
Yeah. Uh, uh, you know what? What would I buy and who would I buy it for? Uh, I'd like to buy Sami Zayn some belief, to be honest.
that's it's like a movie. That's like a
Yeah, I'd
magical
like to buy
movie.
Sami Zayn. I'd like to buy Sami Zayn some belief and some conviction. That's what I'd like to buy this year. Um,
You just took it quite
because he's
harsh
so
there.
good on the mic that if he could just hold a championship and make it, not one time where I'm going to think you're going to lose it in like 3 weeks. Just
Mm,
once, please give me some belief that this guy can hold a championship for more than a month. Come on,
true.
please,
It's
please.
it's hashtag true.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So, round number 2. Of all the wrestlers, who do you think would cook the best Christmas dinner? Now,
I'm
I've had
gonna
a good
go.
thought about this.
Uh, uh, uh,
Okay.
uh, uh.
And I think, to
Well,
me,
yep.
it would be someone like Hillbilly Jim because he's good on the barbecue. He's Texan. They know how to cook.
My answer actually isn't too far amiss from that. Actually, Charlie, I was gonna go Otis.
Otis. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
can imagine
shout.
him in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making some good moves.
Oh, you know who we should have gone with?
Oh,
Should have gone with JR because he does do good barbecue sauce.
oh yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But it is Christmas.
Yeah. Now, I've heard Steve Austin's a pretty good, barbecue cook, from
Yeah.
what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you could invite 3 wrestlers around for Christmas Day, who would it be? Let you go first on that one.
Three wrestlers on Christmas Day. Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, and Cora Jade.
Not like that. I mean, who do you think would be the most fun to have
Fuck
Christmas
off.
dinner with?
Yeah, that's who I pick.
That would be your three.
That would be my three. Yeah.
Ugh. No, no.
What?
I meant more like who would be funny to sit at like a dinner. You know, if you could sit down and have dinner with any of
All
them,
right,
you know,
all
ask
right.
them like
We'll
any
swap.
questions.
We'll swap Tiffany Stratton with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I like that.
And
That's
that's
pretty good. I think for me, I'd invite Steve Austin because I think he'd just
mm.
be hysterical. I'd probably invite Paul Heyman because
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like
that's a
he'd
good
have
one.
fantastic stories. And, you know, yeah. And I think
Charlotte Flair.
no, it wouldn't be Charlotte Flair. If we're gonna put a woman on the table, and it could be anyone, I think it would be Trish Stratus.
She's nice.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's who I'd have over. So I'd have Hillbilly Jim cooking it. That would be a weird fucking Christmas table, wouldn't it? Hillbilly Jim, Trish Stratus, Paul Heyman, Steve Austin, and me.
That would
Yeah,
be, and Rhea
yeah,
Ripley under the tree.
yeah, yeah. We do. That's a weird Christmas lineup. That is. Okay. So if you could play any Christmas game, so you know, like we're talking about, you know, your classic board games, you know, charades, all that kind of stuff, the classic ones that have come out in the last few years. So Monopoly, Cluedo, you know, what's the other one? Pictionary, Game of Life, all Connect Four, you know the ones I'm talking about, Mousetrap, all them stupid ones. Who am I? Who do you think would be the best team partner to have for a game like that over Christmas?
Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I think Paul Heyman would be pretty good. I think Paul Heyman would be pretty good.
Very smart.
He's very, very smart, very inquisitive, I think. I think you'd get things a lot quicker on that. I also think Punk would be very good at that. You know, playing games like charades and that. He seems like someone that would really know how to, you know, like describe things very well on games like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then of course we've got the classic, you know, you sit down at the end of the day, you've had your food, you've had your games, now we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have a bit of classic Christmas TV. That could be a Christmas film, a classic Christmas special from yonder years, or one coming up this year. Uh, what would it be for you? What is your favourite in terms of that you could pick to watch Christmas Day? Um, and who do you think would enjoy the same viewing experience as yours are?
I probably would sit there on Christmas Day with CM Punk and watch Breaking Bad.
And watch Breaking, but that's the kind of thing you'd watch on Christmas Day.
Yeah, to be honest, mate, I love Christmas, but I don't ever really watch Christmas films or listen to Christmas
Not
music.
even like TV specials, or there's not
No,
like a
nothing.
certain film, or
No, generally, I never watch anything really to do with Christmas. I like the time of year. I love Christmas Day. I love spending time with family, but I'm never too interested in Christmas music or Christmas films or TV. I never
hang on.
really
So you
bother
don't
with
have
it.
like a favorite Christmas song,
No,
or
not really. I mean, if
wow,
it comes
I
to
never
Christmas
knew that
songs,
about you. That's actually quite
well,
shocking,
when
especially
it
the
comes to
music
Christmas,
side.
well, Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande, I like that song. And,
It's not
or
even a
Leanna Lewis,
classic. It's not
Five
even a
More Days.
classic.
Yeah, it is now. Leanna Lewis, fucking 5 more
I
days
like
to
that one. I
Christmas.
do like Leona Lewis's
Yeah,
one. I thought that
Lisa
was good from
Leslie.
when it came out. That's grown over the years. I think that's become a pretty good one.
I think that's Christmas songs tend to do that, they don't they? They come out quite quiet and they grow over the
Yeah.
years.
But like
Um,
I like Sam Ryder's that he came out with a few years ago. I like that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Christmas
Kelly
movie.
Clarkson's one's pretty good.
Yeah, my oh yeah, it is actually it is.
Yeah.
I like Kelly Clarkson. My favorite Christmas movie is probably The Terrifier 3. I'll probably say that
It's like
because
that whole argument of like certain films that are Christmas films, but they're not Christmas films.
I didn't
Like,
I didn't really have one before, but then Terrifier 3 came out, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one.
but like you have films that have like 10 minutes that are Christmas themed. You're like, what's actually it's a Christmas film? So it's like someone said to me, you know, Step Brothers is a Christmas film. I was like, no, it's not. It has a Christmas scene. It's not a
Oh,
Christmas film.
you see Krampus.
Krampus, yeah, that's another one of them.
No,
And
it's all
then
right. Is
uh
Gremlins a Christmas film?
Right, there we go. This is one of those arguments. Is Gremlins a Christmas film? Is it? It's
Oh
based
yeah,
around
I would say.
Christmas.
I'd
It's a
say why
Christmas
not?
toy.
It's all
The
Christmassy
second
stuff.
one, the second one, I will definitely argue is a Christmas film. The first one, not so sure. The
I don't
second
know.
one, definitely.
I like Gremlins.
Yeah, it's a
The
classic.
ending always freaks me out with Gremlins. Like that guy saying like, "Oh, if you hear a bump in the night or something, you might just have a gremlin in your house or something like that." Very
Yeah.
creepy. Shit. But now I get older, Gremlins don't freak me out as much. I
I'd
think
hope
if I
not.
saw a Gremlin in person, it would maybe freak me out a little. But
Yeah.
how tall are they usually? If
I
they're
don't
little
know. I'd say
lifelike
they're
stuff.
yeah. I always like that every time at this time of the year you always see that one post on around Christmas where someone's got like a Mugwai toy in his hands and he's got it near the tap and he goes, sod it, I might as well start 2025 off or whatever year it is with a bang.
That's funny, and you know,
Yeah.
I love that little song he does. Why that little high pitched song? So cute, so
Like
cute.
another one on that would be is Die Hard a Christmas film? So I've always had the argument that no, it's not. But over the
Do you want to?
years, people are kind of like going, there it is. There it is. And I think over time, I'm kind of turning towards, well, if I think the other ones that we've mentioned are, I can't really say that that one isn't anymore. So as
Does
much
Die
as,
Hard take place on Christmas Day?
yeah, so
It is. Then.
it
Do
is a
you want to hear
Christmas.
something awful?
Go on.
Haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Die Hard?
No, haven't seen it.
Wow. Next thing you're going to tell me is you haven't seen Elf.
I actually watched that yesterday.
Yeah. Like Elf,
No,
like if you haven't seen Elf, this podcast would have ended. I'll tell you that.
it's actually it's a very clever film. That very clever.
Elf is probably
And
one of the
do you
best
know?
Christmas films.
I might actually make a TikTok about this because it really came to my attention yesterday watching it. If you think, and I'm going to blow your mind here, Charlie, when you actually think about it, right? So, Elf, that same plot, Barbie, the Barbie film, is very similar. Very, very similar.
What, Elf and Barbie?
Yeah, very similar film.
They are
Very,
kind of
very,
when you think about it.
yeah, really similar.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah,
that's weird.
yeah,
Yeah, both people from a fantasy world, they go over, they find someone that they're so-called related to.
yeah, and it's all like
That's
about,
weird.
yeah, I know, it's very weird. I'm like, oh, they literally copied the plot pretty much.
But where does the whole Ken thing come into it? Like, you can't really say Ken Santa.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some differences, but for the most part, it's really similar.
That's
You know,
weird. Yeah.
just
Have
like
you
the
ever seen that
second
guy
Lion
on
King.
TikTok that does the thing where he goes, "Do you want to see a movie that's," and he explains it, and you think, "Oh yeah, I know what this is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is pretty good." And then he says a completely different one. And you go, "Wait, what?" And then you listen to it again, and you realize like how close they are.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy how close some plots are.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, because I think I've seen one of those before. He was talking, and you were like, "Yeah, this is Harry Potter. This is Harry Potter," and it's like Star Wars, you know, A New
Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah,
best one I've seen, and I don't know if you've seen this one. If you haven't, my God, I recommend looking it up. Is you think he's speaking about Guardians of the Galaxy, or no, you think he's speaking about the Wizard of Oz, and he's speaking about Ted Lasso.
what?
That's weird as hell. And then you realize, you listen to it, and you go, "Oh my God."
How can Ted Lasso and the Wizard of Oz be similar? I've never seen Ted Lasso, to be
You've
fair,
never
but
seen Ted Lasso? Oh my God.
is
You've
it
got
the
to watch
football
that. It's
thing?
the best. It's one of the best shows that's come out in the last decade. It's one
Really?
of the best shows that's come out in the last decade. Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, but Apple, to anyone that has Apple TV and you think like this is the thing, things to watch over the festive period. This is one for the viewers here is things to watch over the festive period. If you have Apple TV and you've not seen Ted Lasso or the other series called Trying, you are wasting your subscription. Them
Oh,
two shows are
what
brilliant.
about Charlie? What's it about? I don't know why I did that
Okay, so Ted Lasso is very, very simple. It's Jason Sudeikis, and so he was an NFL coach that got his team that's like right at the bottom all the way to the Super Bowl or something like that, okay? And then there's this woman who's divorcing her husband who's been an arse to her, and the only thing he leaves her in the divorce is the football club. And she says very early on the only thing he ever really loved was the football club, not me. So she's out to destroy the football club. So she gets who she thinks is the worst person to run a football team. And of course, that's an NFL coach. They're not the same game. They're completely different. But then he comes over from America with a guy called Coach Beard, and it turns out he's one of the loveliest guys in the world. And he's actually going through the same thing. He's going through a divorce as well. And it's just this story of how this American gets to know England and gets to know their culture. If you like stuff like Gavin and Stacey, and I'm trying to think of other shows like it, um, Friday Night Dinner and The In-Betweeners, and all them kind of like classic British stuff that's come out in the last 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? It's
Mate,
the
you've sold
same.
me on that.
Yeah,
You have sold me on that.
it's the same type of writing on that.
What a
Okay,
salesman.
it's just genius. Ted Lasso, you have to go and watch it. And then the second one is called Trying. And Trying is the same kind of shows you could base it to. It's about a couple, they live in Camden, they can't have kids, so therefore they are trying to adopt. The first series is them being able to be accepted as people put on the adopting slash fostering list as decent enough parents. Second one is them trying to find their family, and the third one is them 5 years on, and apparently they're going to do a fourth one as well. But it's their story of trying to become parents, to finding kids, finding the way that they could be parents, and trying the best to be the most approachable, you know, adoptees for these kids. And then the next series is them trying to be the parents. But you've got to watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. I went
That
on a
sounds
bit
good,
there,
man.
but they're my
That sounds good,
shows.
man.
Yeah.
That sounds real good.
But going back to the subject, I can't even remember what you said. I think you said Die Hard and you'd watch it with who was it again?
CM Punk.
CM
Well,
Punk.
we did go off
Yeah.
on a tangent,
Yeah, we did
but
go off on a bit of a tangent. But
it
that's
was
the thing
Breaking
with
Bad
this, is
actually.
like Chris, I think with shows and TV and stuff like that, you can easily just go off. Um, I think for me, and I don't know why, I just think this would be a hysterical.
Who?
Like if you could put two characters from two completely different worlds together just to see what would happen. Okay. And I know it's on theme for this year because everyone, if you're listening to this on Christmas Day or on Boxing Day, the biggest thing on TV this year in the UK that is a massive show. It's called Gavin and Stacey. It's the finale. If you haven't seen that show, first of all, where the hell have you been? Um, Go and watch it. It's probably one of the
Charlie, you
best.
can't take Vince McMahon.
I can. Why can I not say that? How have people? I get that we've got American viewers and people from like Europe and that listen, and we really appreciate. But if we're giving recommendations here, go and find Gavin and Stacey. It's probably the most quintessential British comedy after Only Fools and Horses, in my humble opinion.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah,
literally to me, it's Only Fools and Horses, The Royal Family, Gavin and Stacey, The
yeah,
Office. That is
yeah.
British humour, you know, at its finest. But it's the finale. It's the last ever episode this year, so it's kind of on theme. Do you know? I would watch the finale of Gavin and Stacey, and I'd watch it with The Undertaker purely because, not for any reason I think that he'd like it.
What the
Just in
hell?
my head, I think it would be one of the greatest mashups in the world if you had Nessa and The Undertaker in a scene. Because you could do so much with that. But the best part is, with the character Nessa, she makes so many references. Knowing the way that they write it, they'd make it like, well, when I was, wrestling, I knew I knew the Undertaker. We were quite good friends.
Yeah, and it seems not to be bullshit, and they actually meet up. It's
It
just
would be so funny. It would be so funny.
yeah, it would be mate. That would be great.
I'll take what's occurring. Rest in peace.
Oh
You know, it would be
my
brilliant.
god.
Yeah. Oh, Cody, at the end of the day, we know it. You want to finish your story, but you got a bit boring. We've all heard your jab about your dad, but let's be honest, we all preferred Roman. Not gonna lie to you.
That was really good actually. Hats off. Hats off. That was actually really good.
Yeah. It would be brilliant. It would be so good.
No, we all preferred Roman.
Yeah.
Even I think Charlie's gone against Cody now. Not
I
for the
haven't
first
gone
time.
against Cody. I love Cody. You know what I mean? I think them characters would just be so funny in that world. Like Uncle Bryn. Well, I can't believe it. He's only gone and won the belt.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That
like
would be good.
like Drew McIntyre turning heel. Well, I'm very disappointed in that. Didn't see that coming at all.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
Is Ted
oh.
Lasso over now? Or is there gonna be more seasons?
Well, so there's rumors they're going to do another one. But I don't know. I know. There you go. If you want something to watch over Christmas and you're not really ready to start the full series, that I believe there is actually a Christmas special of both the shows I mentioned there. There's definitely one of Ted Lasso. And I'm pretty sure there's one of Trying as well. But where that is in the story, I don't know. But I know with Ted Lasso, you could kind of just watch it from any point.
Maybe. I'd rather start from the beginning, I think.
Yeah. I recommend if you've got time today, if you've got nothing to do, I recommend going to watch that. For you guys, it's Christmas Day, so you clearly do. But for Callum, we're living 48 hours behind you. Um, I'd recommend going to do that today, Callum. But on that, I think that's nearly it for this year. Which is scary to think the next time we're going to speak to you guys is we're gonna take a week's break, which we know we always say, and we don't come back the week later. But we will 100% be back the week later because it will be the kickoff of Raw on Netflix. And as we said earlier in the podcast, uh, this is going to be really the kickoff towards Mania and everything this year. In my opinion, Royal Rumble season starts and everything will get going. Do you think that on the first there's a prediction for you. Do you think that on the first Raw on Netflix we're gonna see uh the logo for WrestleMania? Like the actual big sign?
Yeah, I think we might.
Because I think we will. Because it gives them 4 weeks to build it up towards Royal Rumble. And by that point they then do the point to the sign, the classic point to the sign of whoever wins. And then, that's at every show afterwards. But I think it would actually make more sense if they did that earlier on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Well, I think on that, we have nothing more to say, but apart from a very Merry Christmas to all of you, an extremely Happy New Year, which we will see you in 2025, where we've got so many cool things coming for you guys. You will not believe. And yet again, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that's listened and joined us within the last year. Um, we started this podcast as two friends. We kind of did it for the laugh at the beginning, but the fact that we've got people that come back every other week and listen to the show, we've got viewers in America, we've got viewers in Germany, we've got viewers in France, the Netherlands. It's ridiculous. We really didn't expect it to get. We didn't actually expect to get this spread out in viewers. And even though our viewership is small, and we understand that we're still a small podcast, the fact that we get a viewership that is that wide range uh, at this stage in the podcast blows my mind every single time I look at it. So I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for listening and joining us on this weird journey we're going on in the podcast world. And we hope you stick with us during 2025.
It'll be a great year. I believe.
100%. Okay, so on the final note, that's a goodbye from me and a very Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Very goodbye from me. Have a lovely rest of your year.
Yes.
Oh.
And we'll see you in 2025, guys.